My parents begged me to come home for Christmas after they took my college fund to pay for my sister, so I took my revenge and now they are begging. I was 17 when my parents sat me down and told me they were taking my college fund. Not borrowing it, taking it. My sister Vanessa was getting married at 22 and needed money for her dream wedding. They said family comes first and I'd understand someday. I had $23,000 saved up from birthday money, summer jobs, and what my grandparents put in before they died. My parents had been adding to it since I was born. It was supposed to cover my first 2 years at state school. Vanessa wanted a wedding at some fancy vineyard with a live band and flowers everywhere. The whole thing cost $35,000. My parents drained my entire college fund and took out a loan for the rest. They promised they'd pay me back before I graduated high school. That was a lie. When August came and it was time to apply for schools, I asked about the money. My dad said they were still recovering from the wedding expenses. My mom said I could take out student loans like everyone else. Vanessa posted honeymoon pictures from Hawaii while I was filling out loan applications. I ended up going to community college because it was all I could afford. Worked night shifts at a warehouse to pay for classes. My parents kept saying they were proud of me for being independent, like I had a choice. Meanwhile, Vanessa and her husband Kyle bought a house. My parents helped with their down payment. I didn't get invited to family dinners anymore because I was always working. But Vanessa was there every Sunday eating my mom's cooking and talking about her perfect life. By the time I transferred to a 4-year school, I'd saved up enough to finish my degree without help. Graduated with a business degree and got hired at a tech company in another state. Good salary, benefits, the whole package. I moved 6 hours away and barely called home. My parents didn't seem to notice. Last November, my mom called saying they wanted me home for Christmas. I hadn't been back in 2 years. She said Vanessa really wanted to see me and it would mean so much to the family. I asked if they ever planned to pay back my college fund. Dead silence. Then my dad got on the phone saying I needed to let that go and stop being selfish. That's when I decided to accept their Christmas invitation. But I had a plan. See, my parents loved showing off. They'd throw this huge Christmas party every year, invite all the neighbors and relatives, make this big deal about family being together. I knew this year would be the same. I showed up Christmas Eve with presents for everyone. Expensive ones. A new tablet for my dad, fancy perfume for my mom, designer purse for Vanessa. They were all shocked that I spent so much money. My mom kept saying I shouldn't have. During Christmas dinner with the whole family there, about 20 people total, my mom stood up to make a toast. She started talking about how blessed she was to have both her children home, how family was the greatest gift. That's when I stood up too. I pulled out an envelope from my jacket and said I had something to share with everyone. I started reading from the paper inside. It was an itemized list of every dollar my parents took from my college fund. $23,000 total, with interest calculated over 6 years. I read it out loud in front of all the aunts, uncles, cousins, and family friends. You could hear a pin drop. My aunt Karen asked what I was talking about, so I explained the whole story. How my parents took my college money for Vanessa's wedding, how they promised to pay me back and never did, how they helped Vanessa buy a house but told me to take out loans. My mom's face went completely white. My dad told me to sit down and stop making a scene, but I wasn't done. I pulled out my phone and showed everyone the screenshots. Text messages of me asking about the money. My mom saying we'll talk about it later. My dad saying I needed to be more understanding of family responsibilities. Then I showed them Vanessa's social media. Pictures of her wedding, her honeymoon, her new house, all funded by my future. My uncle Mike, who's a lawyer, looked at my parents and said that's actually financial theft from a minor. The room got really tense. Vanessa started crying saying she didn't know the money was supposed to be paid back. Kyle just sat there looking uncomfortable. My mom tried to explain that they did what they thought was right at the time, that Vanessa needed help starting her life. I asked why Vanessa's life was more important than mine. No answer. Then I told them I'd be willing to forget the whole thing under one condition. They had to admit in front of everyone that they chose Vanessa over me, that they funded her dreams and left me with nothing, and they had to apologize. My dad refused, said I was being dramatic and disrespectful. So I got up, grabbed my coat, and told everyone Merry Christmas. I left all those expensive presents on the table, didn't take them back. Let my parents explain to everyone why their son just exposed them at Christmas dinner. My phone blew up for days, relatives taking sides, some saying I was wrong for airing family business, others saying my parents needed to be held accountable. My mom called begging me to take down any posts about it. I never posted anything, but apparently half the family was talking about it. Now my parents want to meet up and discuss repayment. 6 years later, and suddenly they found the money. Funny how shame works faster than promises.